Hello ladies and gentlemen, Panzer here, and welcome to the very first episode of American Truck Simulator Mods. And the first mod we're going to be looking at today is, well, right in front of you actually. This is the Freighliner Classic XL, and it's a custom truck that you can get. And it's a pretty looking one, look at that, with all the lights on and everything. So this is a very, very complete truck mod that you can get, and everything that you see on here, this doesn't come as stock. These are all custom mods that you can put onto this modded truck as well. And unfortunately the light seems to be fading, but we're here at Santa Monica Pier because I thought this is a very pretty place to be, and all of the GTA 5 fans out there will probably recognize this as Del Piero, but that's not what it is. So we're here in LA, and I'm going to go down over to the Kenworth dealer, if I can remember where the hell that is. It's somewhere here in LA. Somewhere. I believe that's there. Yeah, that's the one there. So the reason we're going over there is I'm going to talk a little bit about how ATS modding works on the way here. And this is actually going to be a full series that I'm going to be doing, where I feature a couple of mods, one or two, per episode. So over this way to the Kenworth dealer. This is where you can actually purchase the Freighliner Classic XL. So the way that ATS modding works is very similar to ETS mods. So if you're familiar with modding Eurotruck, I didn't actually need to stop there, oh now I do. The way it works is very, very similar. So installation and activation of mods are pretty much identical. You have a folder in your documents folder on your computer for American Truck Simulator, and there is a mod folder that you just simply copy and paste the mod into, and then using the mod manager in American Truck Simulator in exactly the same way, you can go and activate those as well. Now load order does matter, as it usually does. You'll probably want to make sure that the mods you want to use are at the top, and then everything such as retextures and reskins come after that. So for example, for this particular truck, if it has a custom skin that I downloaded separately, that will have to be loaded after the truck, and so on. So that's the sort of thing you need to be aware of. Next thing, of course, is there are only 2 dealerships in the game, and what I mean by that is there are currently only 2 brands of trucks in the game. So you've got Kenworth and you've got Peterbilt. So the way that custom trucks have to be added is they have to replace something else in the game. So what this has done is replace the first slot in the Kenworth dealer, and we're going to be looking at that very, very shortly. Alright, so here we are at the Kenworth dealer. This is the one in Los Angeles, and thankfully it's here because I'm not going anywhere else. So this is the Freighliner Classic XL, and like I said, we have a look at the stock offer here. You can actually see that it's taken up the first slot. There aren't actually more slots added. These are all the trucks that are in the game. So it has actually replaced something else, and I can't for the life of me remember what it actually replaced. But that's what it is right there, and it costs 100 grand, which seems like a lot, but it is actually cheaper than quite a lot of the other Kenworth trucks. So as a starting truck, this is actually quite alright. Now it is a 6x4, so you can see the 6 axles, or rather 3 axles there, and 4 driving wheels, so it is a rear-wheel drive truck right there. And if we go to customize configuration, we can actually see that it does have some mods. Now, of course, the cabin is fixed, as is the chassis, but we do have engine options, we also have transmission options, and we have only 1 interior, but this is quite a nicely decorated interior. In fact, if I turn all the way around, which I can't do. Alright, so it seems like I can't actually turn all the way around in this, but I can show you that a little bit later on. We do have custom colours. Of course, all of the stock colours, unfortunately, are not there. It comes in polar white, but you do have free range options there as well. Now, we do have a bunch of accessories that we can go here. So you can see this model that we're looking at in the store is actually different to the one that I used, that I was driving around earlier. And the reason for that is if we go to each of these individual ones, we do see that there are some mods available there. So first up, we have what's called the M. I believe this is some sort of bog guard or mod guard of some sort. So we have a chrome, glass, and plastic options. Chrome does look quite nice, actually. Let's have some nice reflections on there. We do also have the option for the side guards as well. So those come in plastic and chrome as well there. And if you really want to, you can have the classic sort of intake there as well. We have chrome light guards there as well. And a couple of different bumper options too. So we've got the big flat front bumper, or we've got one with the grill there. So you can just see there we've got a couple of different bull bars that we can choose. And a couple of different wheel options as well. Now, this actually came from another mod, which I will link down in the description below, and they seem to carry over between each other. It's another Freightliner truck mod called the Freightliner Coronado, which I will feature in another video. And that actually added all these wheel options as well, but it does come with these, what they call American ones, as standard. And it also adds a bunch of tyre options there as well. And all of these are not level locked in any way, neither is this particular truck, so you can use this from level 1 if you so choose. Now, the light options are kind of interesting as well. We have a couple of different lights here. Let's just go over to the back. It's a little bit hard to select. The one thing that I do notice is that these little things do click a little bit strangely, but yeah. So if you do rotate around to the back, it actually disappears. So I do have to select this one. So what we have here is the steps option. So if we have a look here, we've got these steps down here. And if we select the other option, we now have the auxiliary heater. And that's right there. You can see the heater on either side. Just a little power unit, I think it is. And that's the actual heater itself there. And that's plumbed up to the back of the cabin. So if you are driving anywhere particularly cold, unfortunately, that's probably not where you are right now in California, but if you do need additional heating, that is available for you there. But overall, it's a very, very nicely detailed truck with a lot of different sort of accessories that are very, very, very pretty indeed. And the interior is not too bad, although I'm not a fan of this bright red sort of cherry wood thing that it's got going on here, but it's very nicely detailed, and that GPS there works as well. It also has a nice little, if we just cancel this and go back to our truck outside, can actually see this for ourselves. So it has that working GPS over there, and it has a digital speedo, which works quite well. In fact, we'll just move forward a little bit. You can actually see it going over there, and the bottom number there, of course, is the cruise control. If we activate that, you can actually see that that actually works there. And that's our gear indicator there that you can see working very nicely. If we switch into reverse, you can actually see that it's actually changing too, which is very nice. And we look over into the back. Just stop the engine for now. It's got a nice little door window down there as well that you can see. And we've got a nice interior here. So we've got a nice little bed with a nice little floral pattern to it, if that's what you're into. Unfortunately, all this can't be changed, and you can actually just rotate the camera around and just sit in the back here. Very nice and cozy. Got a nice little skylight as well, with curtains. But overall, it's a very, very detailed truck, and props to the person who made this, because this is very, very nicely detailed. I like that. Look at the God rays coming in. Look at that. Very pretty. And working mirrors as well. I will say one thing about this truck though, the default positioning for the seats, let's just reset that back to default. So if you look right here, this is a useless camera angle. This is actually the default position, right? I can't see my mirrors, so if I need to drive like that, I do need to have the mirror cameras up instead, which is a little bit disappointing. I do prefer to just not have any of that available, so what I've actually had to do is move the position all the way back. But there is a slight glitch where it goes all the way back through the seat. So the position I've gone to is where, if you see right here, this is behind the seat. I just inch it forward slightly and then tap it forward a couple more, and then slightly adjust to the left there as well. Turn the head enough so that we can see that, and pivot up slightly. In fact, you might even want to raise the seat height a little bit more as well. Just get a little bit less of that. And this is the sort of angle that I've been driving at, and it seems to work just fine, honestly. It's a usable angle, it's just that if you want to use the actual mirrors, that's the sort of extent you have to go to. And then of course I have the right mirror up, because of course it is kind of impossible to see that. I'm not using track IR or anything like that at the moment, so that's kind of why things sort of look the way they do at the moment. And I'm having to use the sort of steering camera to look around. But if you are the sort of person that is using, for example, keyboard steering and all that, you probably won't have this issue because you can use the mouse to look around. But overall, it is a little bit tricky to navigate if you're using a steering wheel and you don't have easy access to camera controls. So I would recommend actually adjusting your camera position to roughly where I've got it right now, and that makes it perfectly usable. Now, of course, this is not a flat front truck, as most American trucks tend to be, so navigating small corners can be a little bit tricky, especially this is not a four-wheel steering or multiple wheel steering vehicle. So you are going to have that sort of issue navigating tight spaces like that. But overall, a very, very good mod indeed. It has its own custom sounds. I believe that engine rumble that you're hearing is slightly tweaked from the default sound. It has its own custom interior. It has a full set of accessories that you can customize to your liking. In fact, the one that I have right now. See right here, we have a full set of working indicators as well. It's very, very bright. If you don't see this truck with its indicators on, something is quite badly wrong with your eyesight, because that is a lot of lights right there. And yeah, just looking at it, the sheer amount of detail. In fact, those, I didn't show that earlier, but the mud guards on, or rather the wheel guards on the rear axles, that's actually customizable as well. You've got 3 different options for that. So overall, very, very well put together mod. Props to the person who made it. Link to it will be down in the description below, as usual. If you do have a mod that you would like me to show on the next episode, feel free to link it down in the comments. And if you have any questions about modding American Truck Simulator, or indeed anything about the game in general, please feel free to comment below and I will get back to you. I am considering doing a guide video for modding the game. If you would like to see that, please let me know down in the comments and I will consider putting that together. Oh, he's going to let me go. But this has been Panzer taking a look at Freighliner Classic XL mod for American Truck Simulator. Thank you very much for watching. If you are new, feel free to subscribe and don't forget to leave a like on the video. And I will see you next time.